Give me something. Give me silence. Give me jokes. Living out with my peanut dreams.
I think that the biggest question that those of us in Denver have is, has it now come to be clear that we've sent you Tebow just to destroy the team from the inside out like you did at our team?
You know what's so funny, and I think you guys know this, I'm not a person that thinks Tebow is a real quarterback, but he's a good kid and has not been any form of distraction whatsoever. We got plenty of injury headaches and other things that are causing us problems. Tim is way down the list of issues.
There's other things involved. Well, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on with you.
I had a baby 8 weeks ago.
Holy cow.
You want a Denver conspiracy? My son's name is Xander with an X, Xander Vaynerchuk. So when I tweeted it out, his initials are XV, which equal 15, and I had thousands of people tweet me back thinking that I named him Xander to show my support behind number 15 Tebow. I thought that was pretty incredible.
There's a very large conspiracy population out there.
It really is. Things are well, I really put my head down last September, about a year ago, and started to really focus on VaynerMedia, my social media agency. It's gone extremely well. We've grown from 28 to 200 people in that year.
Holy cow.
Opened the San Francisco office, which is where I'm flying to right after this talk. Landed enormously large clients like the NFL and Kraft, and it's been going really, really well. Hasbro.
How is it getting back in the trenches and actually running a big company? I mean, now it's a fairly large company, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what's funny is that last August, I was really trying to decide I went on a 2-week family vacation and promised myself that I would figure out what I would do next because I felt a little unhappy because I was getting worried that I was becoming too much of a talking head. Yeah. Interviews, books, keynotes, TV. And I just didn't, can I curse on this thing?
Yeah, of course.
I just didn't want to be like a full of shit kind of character where I was just talking and not doing. And I felt like what made me relevant to tech was that I built a $70 million wine business based on it. And I wanted to do it again. So it's felt really good. Like reminding myself that I know how to get my fingernails dirty and sell clients and build an organization and culture and profit margins and all that real business stuff does feel really good to me because I think it separates myself a little bit from the other people that talk it. On the flip side, weirdly enough, because I've been doing it for a year, now it's like a seesaw, right? Now I'm like, shit, I should write another book. I have so much to say. People are still fucking it up. I need to do something. So it's a seesaw for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's one of the cool things is that when people read your books and when people watch you and do these keynotes, it's because you've actually done stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that talk about shit but never do shit. So now you're kind of in a place where you're learning more shit to talk about, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I've learned an enormous amount. I am a far better speaker, thinker, pundit, writer about corporate America today because I've lived so deeply in it in the last year and 3 years, really. As far as entrepreneurship and like what I'm going to do here, that's who I am, right? That's since I was 1,200 days old, I was trying to sell shit. So, that's going to be easy. That's my ethos. The details of some of the things I've been doing over the last year or two are nuances, but the core energy of, taking care of people, running a real business, figuring out how to sell your best possible product, those are things that come naturally to me.
And I think that's what's cool is that this event and this week, Denver Startup Week, is really kind of for the first time bringing the Denver startup community together. But that's something you've been doing for years in different parts of the country. Talk a little bit about what kind of advice you would give us in Denver that are trying to form a startup community, that are starting to build really cool companies.
There's really no advice. It really comes down to leaders, right? And so clearly that's what's happened here. A bunch of leaders got together and said, it's time. I don't know what kind of rivalry you have with the Boulder tech community.
We don't even talk about them.
Got it. So knowing that there's good college football, sports, and things here, this could become a really great rivalry. I actually think Boulder and Denver could really play off each other and create something pretty neat in the state of Colorado. To me, it takes leadership. There's no advice I can say. The work has been done, right? I don't want to fly in from Manhattan and say, here's my advice. The work has been done. People here stepped up. They took risks and effort and a ton of work, I'm sure, to make this happen. They flew in clowns like me to spark it, right? And I think that now it just happens. I'm completely convinced, because I've seen this before in towns that have the passion and the effort, that every person associated with it, you guys, the people that are singing, this place, everybody will be stunned how big this thing will be next year. Because the fact of the matter is, people are followers. There was a lot of people that were scared to throw their money or effort towards this time around. Now that this is gonna happen, all the press, all the interviews, all the buzz, tickets sold, events, chatter, word of mouth, internet word of mouth, next year everybody's gonna wanna be associated with it. So, to answer that question, it's not about my advice, the work has already been done. It's the execution that happens over this week. If they don't screw it up, if the events don't suck, if there's no—
Thank you for adding additional pressure to those of us that are involved.
But that's the key, right? You guys have done it already. Now if you execute, it'll be huge next year.
Very cool. So what's next for you? You're going to continue to build your company out, and when do you buy the jets?
Yeah, that's really what's next for me, which is that I really don't know what's next for me, but every decision will be made under the filter of like, how do I buy the New York Jets? And so I'm not sure where that takes me. You know, I was selling wine 6 years ago, didn't even know what a laptop was, right? So I'm going to continue to evolve and look for opportunity and try to be a good human being along the way. And so that's kind of what I think about. As far as when I buy them, I'm not kind of the animal that's going to like make it happen in 4 minutes. You know, I'm not going to invent Facebook or Twitter and then 36 months later I could do it. I'm more of a plotter. As long as I get it within 20, 30, you know, if I get it in 20 years, I'll be 56. Feels right.
Excellent. One last question. Yeah. One of the things that Sandy and I talk about, kind of your philosophy, is there's so many people that talk about doing shit, yeah, and you're all about doing shit, yeah, right? So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's sitting on a couch today, has a great idea, wants to maybe start a company, thinks that they're an entrepreneur, but is reticent to take that next step?
You know, thinking you're an entrepreneur is a tough thing. I think that, you know, we talked about this. If you're not selling stuff, if you're not thinking about business in your youth, you're probably not an entrepreneur DNA-wise, right? This whole entrepreneur thing is a real racket right now. Everybody's like, you could be an entrepreneur. And I'm sitting there and that's like saying, you can be a professional athlete. No, you can't. You know, you can't.
Yeah,
like you can't, if you're artistic, if you're a million other things, it's not about deciding you're an entrepreneur, it's about deciding like, what are you naturally best at? And even if it doesn't seem like something you can make money on, you gotta go all in. And so if you like interviewing people, if you like videotaping people, if you like photography, if you've always liked music, that's where you have to over-index. America convinces people to work on shit that you're not good at. Right now it's entrepreneurship. You should be an entrepreneur. That's the whole wrong racket. The game should be do what you're best at. None of these athletes, I don't think LeBron James really tried to figure out algebra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't give a fuck. He like barely, you know, paid attention at school, and the second he walked out, he went and shot baskets. I believe in that. I believe in that. I believe that for me, that happened to be entrepreneurship. I was an F fucking student, for real. Not like, ha ha, I was a C student. No, I was an F student because I sat in class and read the baseball card price guide because I wanted to memorize every price of every baseball card because I was gonna sell them that weekend, and that's what my life was about. People need to get off the couch and over-index on what they love the most. And if they want to turn it into a business, they need to go find a business partner. Really, go find the scummy fucking salesman and make sure he's not a jerk off about it. Refocus him to not be a douchebag, and then sell your rocks that you find in your yard because you've been passionate about rocks your whole life. It's really that simple and really that hard, yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's really that simple and really that hard. It's hard to think that the little niche thing that you love so much can support your living, but I think if most people looked themselves in the mirror and realized how much they were making around what they hated to do, the swing is, you know, making 50K a year hating your fucking life, or making 38K a year loving your life, people need to start thinking about that.
That's amazing. So on behalf of all of us, we really appreciate you coming out and doing this, and congratulations on the baby.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. That was awesome. Yeah, can I get